A new episode of South Park just dropped, and as usual, it has everyone talking. Whether you're laughing, cringing, or furiously tweeting, it's clear the show still knows how to hit a nerve. But that's nothing new. Since its debut in 1997, South Park has been a cultural barometer, a biting, irreverent mirror held up to society's shifting values and nonstop controversies. Over 27 seasons, it's tackled everything from politics and religion to pop culture and cancel culture. And yet, despite all the sharp moral lessons and brutal satire, something strange keeps happening. The discourse around these episodes feels more polarized than ever. Maybe that's the point. Because if South Park proves anything, it's that our culture wars aren't just absurd, they're repetitive. And the real joke? It might just be on us. For 27 years, South Park has mocked every controversial topic under the sun. Religion, politics, race, gender. You name it, they've ridiculed it. But what made South Park more than just a shock comedy show was its formula. Take a hot-button issue, show two extreme sides, let the chaos unfold, and then a child delivers a simple truth. You know what? I've learned something today. But the joke would appear to be on us. After nearly 3 decades of South Park laying out the cycle of outrage, society still hasn't learned the lesson. South Park doesn't take sides. It takes both sides and cranks them to 11. Every episode is a microcosm of real-life discourse. A controversial topic erupts, the town splits into ridiculous factions, Cartman becomes a fascist or a prophet, and somewhere in the middle, the boys, usually Stan or Kyle, look confused by how insane everyone has become. The structure is predictable. The chaos is not. But what makes this more than just parody is that the episodes often do land on a meaningful takeaway, one that transcends both extremes, a message about empathy, or personal responsibility, or the futility of screaming matches and radical violence. In a way, South Park gives us a weekly simulation of a moral panic, and then shows us how easily it dissolves. The show doesn't just make fun of outrage, it predicts it, and it shows how short our memory really is. From cancel culture to identity politics to election hysteria, South Park has been ahead of the curve more often than not. But what's disturbing is how each issue follows the same pattern. A controversy explodes. Everyone picks a side. Public discourse becomes a war zone. And then, everyone moves on to the next problem. And that's the loop. What South Park satirizes every season is exactly what plays out in our real lives, on repeat. The irony? We keep reacting like it's the first time. So, what does this mean for us? The viewers? One of the biggest ironies with South Park is how much outrage its episodes have sparked over the years. Time and again, the show dives into hot-button issues, stirring fierce debates and controversies. And yet, when you step back, you realize much of that outrage leads nowhere. Despite all the shouting and online battles, very little real progress seems to have been made. Think back to some of the controversies South Park tackled years ago. Political correctness, race, gender, social justice. How many of those culture wars do you remember vividly? Do you remember the arguments? Or have they faded into noise and forgetfulness? That's the point. The outrage cycle repeats itself endlessly, but the underlying divisions remain, unchanged. South Park doesn't just satirize society's extremes, it also exposes the futility of our outrage, how it often feels performative rather than productive. The real question for us as viewers is, are we learning? Are we growing? Or are we stuck, trapped in cycles of division and outrage that lead nowhere? The show challenges us to ask these questions, even if it's uncomfortable. Because if the joke is on us, maybe it's time we stop yelling at each other and start reflecting on whether any of this has truly moved the needle. Trey Parker and Matt Stone have made it clear. They don't write the show to tell you what to think. They're not moral authorities. They're satirists. Their goal is to show how absurd everyone can be. But that kind of neutrality is rare, and it comes with limits. Satire can highlight a problem, exaggerate it, and even ridicule it. But it can't fix it. That's up to the audience. The "I've learned something today" moment only matters if someone's actually listening. And that might be South Park's biggest blind spot, or its most honest admission. It assumes people won't change, and so the same story plays out over and over. When people talk about South Park, they usually mention the jokes, the shock, the outrageous moments, but they rarely talk about the message. Think of the episodes that tried to say something real, about depression, grief, empathy, addiction, or trauma. Yes, they're in there, but they often get drowned out by the noise. It's easier to share a meme than to wrestle with what it's actually saying. So, while South Park has spent 27 years asking, why are we like this? Most people still only hear the punchline. After nearly 3 decades, South Park remains one of the most consistent satirical voices in media. But its greatest lesson might be the one it never says out loud, that the more we argue, the less we listen. And that satire, no matter how sharp, can only show us the mirror. It can't make us look at ourselves. So I'll ask the question one more time. Have we actually learned something today? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts down below. What's your take? Do you think South Park's satire still hits home? Or are we just spinning in circles? Drop your favorite episode or moment that made you think differently. Until next time, stay curious, stay critical,